We look at ourselves as a platform to foster sustainability as a way of life.
It's also about fostering social innovation, fostering social entrepreneurship. In the long run, what really matters is this informal kind of mentorship.
So the way to identify social needs is actually to spend a lot of time in the field.
One of the ways in which social innovation is driven is informally.
Every activity has to be socially relevant.
I'm Rangan. I'm founder and CEO of Micrograam. Micrograam is an online microcredit marketplace where we enable people investing in people. Yeah, it's an interesting story. After about 20 years in the corporate field, I switched on to the social development area. I was working with an NGO called I-25 in the space of financial inclusion. And during the time, I met my cousin, who is also a co-founder of Micrograam, during one of the family function. And I was talking about how India is going over the financial inclusion initiative. I was talking about we are opening millions of savings bank accounts and so on. And we just saw one of our distant relatives who lived in a tier 2 town called Trichy, and his son was a great, good cricketer, but was not able to afford him to take him forward. We said it's very interesting, even in a tier 2 city, if people do not have access to some of the financial services, and he was this cousin, a distant cousin of mine was saying no way he could afford any loan for that matter, even though there was a regular income and so on. We said we need to, and I also kind of added to that based on my financial inclusion experience. Yes, there are, I think it is not savings bank account that matters, it is more the credit that matters, and that too affordable credit. And that really made us think as to how we could go about providing affordable financial credit. And we were kind of inspired more by an organization called kiva.org, which is based in US. And we said, how do we bring that to India in a different way? And we did our own innovation, customization to India, and that's what you see today, Micrograam in India. Clearly, we wanted to understand how do we bring this model. Kiva was a good model, which was a crowdsourcing model, and it was more based on people not giving it as a charity, but there is no interest. We found when we talked to many of the folks who said they are willing to help people, but in a sustainable manner, they said they do expect certain return. And we also observed, as we talked to many such people, we also observed it is not just the return that matters, it is the purpose or the cause that also matters. Fine. Third important thing that came about as we were deliberating what to bring in, what should be the business model and so on, one thing that very strongly came about is people will be looking this as an investment. Though it is a social purpose, it's a social investment. And if that be the case, how do we compare with respect to the credibility or the risk part of it? How do we bring that in? So we said, they want some kind of assurance that the money is safely deployed and it is deployed for the purpose that they choose to, and they get the return and it is sustainable. So that's what really made us derive the model. It almost took about 8 to 9 months for us to just think about and create that model itself. One interesting point on the informal mentorship and support. I would say it's absolutely critical that these kind of informal support or the mentorship, and it has played a very big role as especially the growth of Micrograam is concerned. Yes, formal is important, and I think the one that we just went through with Will Grow has been of a great support, but it has the continuous and in the long run what really matters is these informal kind of mentorship. For 5 years from now, our goal is to reach out to about 20,000 people, impact 20,000 people. Not just on microcredit or the financial services alone. We are looking at, our goal is how do we provide affordable access. We started with financial services, which is one of the critical component for many of the development activities. But along with it, we are looking at be it education, be it health, and so on. So we want to be able to reach out and be able to give that access to about 20,000 plus in the next 5 years or so. I mean, absolutely. Two of the important things. One is patience and determination, I think, which goes for many other things also, more so for a social enterprise.